Good afternoon to all. So, yesterday class we studied about three rules, isn't it? Of Bohr principle, Pauli's exclusive rule, and last one is Hund's rule. Yes, we'll take some example. After that, we will start next chapter. Okay. So just write or represent NLM value of last electron in a sodium. The question is represent the value of NLM value of last electron in sodium. So sodium atomic number is 11, isn't it? And its configuration is, student, so while writing electronic configuration, you have to remember the principal quantum number, azimuthal quantum number. You have to remember these two. First one, 1s2. Next one, it is 2, not 3. Don't confuse, student, because we know one representation method, isn't it? 2s, 2p, 3s, 3p, 3d, 4s, 4p, 4d. We have to arrange in a energy level in the form of energy. Yeah, 1s2, after that 2s, after that 2p. I'll write like that only. 3s, after that 3s. Next comes 3p, after that 4s, then 3d. It is actual arrangement, isn't it? So now we have 11 electron. We have 11 electron, 2 in a S shell, next one 2 in a S shell, next P. Maximum capacity of P orbital is 6 because Px contains 2, Py contains 2, Pz contains 2, isn't it? So then 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, isn't it? So then one electron remaining, which is our 3s1. Then these three are again useless, isn't it? So I'll drop that. So now the question is about this one electron. Represent the value of NLM for the last electron. What is the value of N, student? What is the value of N? Last shell, that is 3. What is the value of L, students? What is the value of L? The question, S orbital. S orbital means L value will be always 0. So now the question is, what is the value of M here? What is the value of M? So that is also 0. Remember this, and while writing this one, you have to maintain the N number. That is nothing but your principal quantum number. Don't forget. If in case you write here 3s, in that case it is wrong. Yeah, first we have to fill in the order of increasing energy level. Is it clear? So next question is, write the electronic configuration of Na plus. The question is about Na plus. What do you mean by plus charge, student? What do you mean by plus charge? Gain of electron or loss of electron? What do you mean by plus charge? So there is a positivity. That means loss of electron, isn't it? One electron is lost by sodium. That means Na lost one electron. So that's why it becomes positively charged. That means there is a loss of one electron. The formula or the electronic configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s1 is for sodium. This is for sodium. The question is for Na plus ion. The question is for Na plus ion, and the electronic configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6. One electron is lost. That must be your valence electron, the outermost electron. So that's why it will be 3s0, or else we simply write it as 1s2, 2s2, 2p6. Is this clear, student? Is this clear? Okay. Next one. What are degenerate orbital? What are degenerate orbital, student? Which having same energy level, isn't it? So now I'll give another question. Give the designation of orbital when n equals to 2, L equals to 0. When n equals to 2, L equals to 0, which orbital it is? Which orbital it is? Designation means you have to represent in the form of this one, 1s or 2s or 2p or what it is. What it is. N equals to 2 means it is 2. N is 2. Isn't it? What about L here? 0. It is 2. Yes. Isn't it? Next question. N equals to 3, L equals to 1. Designation of this one, 3, and when the value of L become 1, it is P, 3P. Isn't it? So next question. Find the maximum number of electron. Yesterday we discussed, isn't it? So I told the whole electrons, n equals to 3, and the question is L equals to 2, I think. Isn't it? So when n equals to 3, the value of L is 0, 1, and 2. Isn't it? Isn't it? The question is, find the maximum number of electron when n equals to 3 and L equals to 2. The question is this one, isn't it? So now the value of EML is 0 here, and here it is -1, 0, +1, and then it is -2, -1, 0, +1, and +2. So what will be the number of electron with n equals to 3 and L equals to 2? This was the question, isn't it? In that case, you have to maintain only this one. When L equals to 2, total number of electrons, yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 orbital, and maximum number of electron filled in one orbital is 2. That's why it is 10 electron. Clear? Yesterday we counted all these, isn't it? 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. That is nothing but n square. We calculate the total number of electron in a n equals to 3. So that is not a right. Here we have to find the value of electrons in n equals to 3 and L equals to 2. Is this clear, student? Is this clear? Is this clear? Or else take one example, n equals to 4 with L equals to 4 with the m value as a 0. M value as a 0. Find the total number of electron present or for n equals to 4 and m equals to 0. Simple question it is. We know each and every shell contains m0. Each and every shell contains m0. What will be the answers? Just check your answer. N is 4. N equals to 4, isn't it? N equals to 4. In that case, what is the value of L? L is 0, 1, 2, 3. Isn't it? Isn't it? After that, here, ML for this one is 0 itself. This one is -1, 0, +1. And this is -2, -1, 0, +1, +2. And this one is -3, -1, 0. Sorry, -2, -1. +1, +2, and +3. The question is for m equals to 4. The number of electron, yeah. How many numbers of electrons were present? See, that means 1, 2, 3, 4 shells were there, 4 orbitals were there. Maximum number of capacity is 2, that is 8 electron. So this one is 8 electron. Don't confuse with these answers, okay? Okay, student. Huh? So then what? Yeah, it is 8 electron. It is 8 electron. So if the question is Cl minus, find the value or write the electronic configuration of Cl minus. Cl minus with atomic number, sorry, Cl is atomic number with 17. So just try to write. What is Cl minus, student? What do you mean by Cl minus? One electron was gained or lost by the Cl. Gain, isn't it? So there must be one extra electron. There must be one extra electron. How it is 2? Which one 2? Which one 2, Shraddha? How it is 2 means? Which 2? For n equals to 4, yeah, n equals to 4 and L equals to 0. For L equals to 0, isn't it? Isn't it? In this case, again, for n equals to 4, we have the value L 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, isn't it? But we have to consider only this one, L equals to 0. That means there is only one shell. One shell into capacity is 2 electron. That's why it is 2 electron. Is this clear? Is this clear, Shraddha? Is this clear? So that's why we got 2 electrons. Yes, okay, okay, fine. Is this clear, student? According to Hund's rule, then Pauli's exclusive rule, and last one is this one. which one? Ahbo principle. So these three are very important and we have to know about these. Clear? While writing electronic configuration, don't forget you have to write it in the form of increasing energy order. Is this clear? Is this clear, student? Okay. So now we know matter is made up of small particles which were known as atom, isn't it? So matter is made up of small particle that is nothing but atom. We studied, isn't it? So every matter is composed with infinite numbers of atom. So that means here, whenever we consider any matter, if in case I consider this matter, it consists so many numbers of atom, isn't it? Isn't it? And we know, in case of noble gas, it may form or it may, you know, inert or in uncombined state. That means it is independent, isn't it? But in case of other element, for example, I consider Na, sodium, isn't it? NaCl, in case of NaCl, Na in the form of Na plus and Cl is in the form of Cl minus. So other elements are in a combined state. Remember these things, student. So we know matter is composed with so many atoms, isn't it? Matter is composed with so many atoms. The question here, except noble gases, all other elements will be in a combined state, isn't it? And that group of atom which is in combined state is known as molecule. What do you mean by molecule, student? So molecule is nothing but it is a group of atom. It is group of atom, isn't it? So here, for example, I took NaCl, isn't it? NaCl. So NaCl, there is a two type of atom. One is sodium, another one Cl. Both are in contact with each other, or it is in a combined state, isn't it? So for this combination, there must be some force of attraction, isn't it? There must be some force of attraction which hold those constituent atom or electron or ions with each other. And that is known as chemical bond. Yeah, about electropositivity and electronegativity study later, isn't it? But if in case, here there is a positive and negative. If in case we consider Cl2, if in case we consider Cl2, if in case we consider Cl2, there is a combination of two Cl atom, isn't it? So there is no charge separation. There is no charge separation. But in this case, there is a charge separation, isn't it? But there is a bond between this also. There is a attraction force, and that is known as chemical bond. The attraction force, this is nothing but attraction force that holds various constituent. Here we consider constituent, so that may be atom, molecules or ions. Clear? So here the attraction force between or which helps those constituent atom, ion or molecule together in a different chemical species are called as chemical bond. What is chemical bond, student? So this is nothing but attraction force which holds various constituent together. Yeah, so this is simply attraction force. This is a attraction force which holds these atom, molecule or ion with each other is known as chemical bond. Clear? So now question arise, why this chemical combination will be held? Why? So now the question arises, isn't it? Why do atoms combine? Why it has a definite space? Isn't it? So that means there must be some logic, isn't it? Why they combine with each other or how they combine with each other. isn't it? To know the answer for these questions, there are several theories were developed. There are several theories were developed. So that is Coastal-Lewis theory. Coastal-Lewis theory is the first theory which initiate for the chemical bond. So then comes valence bond theory, VBT, valence bond theory. Next comes VSEPR theory, valence shell electron pair repulsion theory. After that, it comes molecular orbital theory. Molecular orbital theory. So these are again very important theory which gives a proper explanation for this chemical bond. In this chapter, we study about these all theories. In the first, second chapter, in the structure of atom, we studied the development procedure or the way in which atom or the model of atom is developed, isn't it? From Rutherford to Bohr's, then quantum mechanics, we studied about the atoms, isn't it? The structure of atom. In this chapter we will study about the chemical bond and the molecular structure. We study about chemical bond and molecular structure. So again, very important chapter, students. So this is very important chapter. You may get almost 8 marks important question. 8 mark important question. In that, one is for 2 marks. One is for 2 marks. Another 3 for 3 marks. 3 for 3 marks. I'll consider like this. Okay, so that means you'll get 3 questions with a 3 mark and 1 question with a 2 marks for board examination. Almost 11 marks important question. It is 11 marks important question. Clear, student? And here we consider this chapter under inorganic chemistry. We consider this chapter under inorganic chemistry, and we'll get these questions in our inorganic section. Is this clear? So in this chapter, we going to learn about these things. That is about a chemical bond and about the molecular structure of the system. So now the question, why chemical combination will take place? Why chemical bonding will, someone answer, to gain stability. Yesterday itself I told you, isn't it? So every system in a nature try to attain the stability, isn't it? And the stability, in yesterday's class we studied stability is attained by symmetric nature or else with the help of exchange energy, isn't it? So that is for electronic configuration. But in this case here, chemical bond or chemical combinations will occur to form a stable state, to form stable system, to form stable system. So this is very important, student. Why chemical combinations will form? To attain a stability. And bonding is nature's way to attain a stability. So that means with the help of chemical bond or some bond formation, it can attain a stable form. It can attain stable form. Is this clear, student? To attain a stability, chemical combination will take place. Yeah, about octet rule we study further, isn't it? So here, stability, for the stability purpose, chemical bond formation will be there, and bonding is a nature's, it is just like a medicine to attain stability, Clear, student? So here, first one we study about Clausius-Lewis approach towards chemical bond. Clear? I'll rub this. First theory, it is very important. First one, Clausius-Lewis approach towards chemical bond. So first, it was first explained by two scientists, that is Kelsey and Lewis, in 1916. In 1916. So here they imagined that there will be one positive part inside the cube, and that is known as kernel. That is known as kernel. It is a positive part. It is a positive part. That means it has some, it has a nucleus and inner electron. It has nucleus and inner electron. We studied yesterday, isn't it? What is inner electron? What is outer electron? So electron present in the outermost shell is known as outer electron, or it is known as valence electron, isn't it? So if in case I'll consider sodium, 3s1 is nothing but your valence electron, isn't it? 3s1 is nothing but your valence electron, and other all thing is nucleus and inner electron. He called it as a kernel. He called it as kernel. He explained that there is a positive part. There is a positive part inside the cube. Inside the cube. I'll consider this as cube, and this here there is a kernel. He further explained that, and those outer electron or valence electron can occupy at the corner of this cube. At the corner. Just imagine you are at the center of your room and just find the corners. How many corners were there, student? How many corners were there? Yeah, just count. Yeah, just count. 8 corners, isn't it? 8 corners. 8 corners it is. Huh? Find three-dimensionally. Upper portion has a 4 corner and lower portion has a 4 corner. Total it is 8 corners, isn't it? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, 8. Explain that. No? So that is, it has a positive part which is nothing but kernel, which is again, yeah, it is covered with this one, cube. Clear? And the outermost electron or valence electrons will have the position of these corners. Clear? Here it is an initiation for that octet rule. It is an initiation for octet rule. Further yet explain, if in case I'll consider sodium, in that case, only one electron is present in a cube. Only one electron. If in case I'll consider this as a kernel again, kernel with a cube for sodium. If in case I'll consider sodium, just imaginary part. In this case, he explained that only one corner was filled with the electron, because electronic configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6 and 3s1, isn't it? It is the outermost shell. It has only one electron, and these all things he called it as a kernel. So this one is kernel and this is outermost electron, and this outermost electron can present in a cube. It can present in the cube. Is this clear? So he explained that kernel, which is nothing but nucleus with inner electron, is covered with one cube where the electrons, outer electrons were situated, or else where the valence electrons were situated. If in case I'll consider neon, how many corners will be filled? If in case I consider neon, how many electrons were filled? What is the atomic number of neon, student? What is the 0? It is 10, isn't it? I'll write 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 2p6. Now the question, how many corners were filled? So thing here is, the electron which were in an outer shell is known as valence electron. That may be a completely filled, that may be half filled, that may be unfilled. Which one it is? No valence electron. How? If I ask for this, which one is valence electron? In that you have to count these Clear? So there are 8 valence electron because the electron which were present in the outermost shell is known as valence electron. Electron present in the outermost shell is valence electron. The question here is, how many corners will be filled when we consider any noble gas or when we consider neon? Yes, all 8 corners were. Is this clear, student? If in case we consider, for example, fluorine. I consider fluorine. Atomic number, fluorine is atomic number 9, isn't it? 1s2, 2s2, and this one is 5. So I'll consider 1s2, 2s2, 2p5. Sorry. Okay. Huh. What will be the electronic configuration for fluorine? Electronic configuration for fluorine. Yeah, after carbon, 7, 7, 7, 7, only 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is nothing but fluorine. Is this clear, student? Is this clear? Yeah, 2p5 itself, and this is nothing but 7 electron. That means, so cube can be filled with 7 electron. This was the approach by the Kossel and Lewis theory. So he explained, or the explanation for this one is, a kernel consisting nucleus and inner electrons will be covered with one cubic shell where the valence electrons will be filled. Clear? So now Lewis postulate, here he gave one postulate. That means here Lewis postulate, according to this chemical bond, atom achieves stable octate when they combine chemically. When they combine chemically. That means he further explained atom achieves stability or stable octate when they combine chemically. When any bond or any chemicals combine with each other, in that case, the stability will be obtained. So that is nothing but stable octate form. Clear? For this stability, there may be different types of combination. One is chemical bond may be formed by, first one is, yes, anyone, how the chemical bond may form? Yes, first one, transfer of electron, and second one by, student, second one, yes, by sharing of electron. First one by First one is by transfer of electron. In second one, sharing of electron. If in case I'll consider example NaCl, isn't it? Where one electron was transferred from sodium to Cl. Clear? For example, I'll consider sodium. Sodium initially converts into Na++ electron. Just find its electronic configuration. 1s2, 2s2, 2p6 and 3s1. When it loses one electron, what will happen? It forms octate state, isn't it? MgCl, yeah, these are nothing but example, calcium chloride, potassium chloride. So these are nothing but example for bond which formed by the transfer of electron. What about sharing of electron, student? How the chemical bond formed by the sharing, isn't it? So what are the example? Give any example. Oxygen, nitrogen, chlorine. So these are nothing but, we consider organic compound or organic species also, but here I'll take a basic things. Okay, oxygen, nitrogen, chlorine. So these are nothing but again the compound which was formed by the sharing of electron. Is this clear, student? Is this clear? To attain a stability, there is a chemical bond. Which type of stability? Stability formed by the octet structure. Here, two types were there. One is with the help of transfer of electron, another one with sharing of electron. So now, next one is about Lewis dot structure. Lewis dot structure or Lewis symbol. Important. So you'll get one question from this. You may get. So Lewis symbol is nothing but it is a representation of valence electron around the symbol of element. Representation of valence electron. If in case I'll consider lithium. If in case I'll consider lithium. How many valence electron were there? In case of lithium, the valence electron, number of valence electron, student. In case of lithium, atomic number is 3. 1s2, 2s2, oh, sorry. 1s2, 2s1, isn't it? So now I'll consider lithium. Lithium. So now, what about Lewis symbol? Lewis symbol explain about, or it gives valence electron. Isn't it? Valence electron, which was symbolized by the dot. We consider dot for the valence electron. How many valence electrons were there for lithium? 1, isn't it? So that's why I consider 1. You have to represent in this way, okay? Cubic way. You have to consider in a cubic way, okay? Lithium has only 1 electron. Next one, I'll consider beryllium. How many valence electrons were there? For beryllium. Atomic number is 4. 1s2, 2s2. Total number of electrons 2. So that's why I'll write here and here. Yeah, so this is for beryllium. Next one. I'll consider boron. Yes, how many electrons, student, for boron? 1s2, 2s2, 2p1. 1s2, 2s2, 2. Yes, 1, 2, and 3. Clear? Next one for carbon. How many valence electron for carbon? 1s2, 2s2, 2p2. How many valence electron, students? 4. Yes. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Isn't it? So now question about nitrogen. How many valence electron for nitrogen, student? 1s2, 2s2, 2p3. Isn't it? So valence electron is last shell electron, that is nothing but 5 electron. So now representation. 1, 2, 3, and 4 is common. Then start pairing. So this is nothing but fifth one. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Next one, after nitrogen, which element? Lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen. Next, oxygen. I'll write here oxygen, okay? Or else you will confuse. How many electrons? How many valence electron? Isn't it? Student? 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Next one for fluorine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And last one for neon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Clear? Is this clear, student? Is this clear? Student, is this clear? With the help of Lewis dot structure, we can identify the number of valence electron present in that atom. So this is very important, student. You will get one question with this. Or else, after this, we will learn about chemical bonds, different type of chemical bond. In that, again, you have to consider this type of arrangement. Clear? Dear student, what is significance of Lewis symbol? So now question is, what is significant? I already mentioned. What is significance of Lewis structure? The group valence of the element is. So now this is for single electron, isn't it? This is for single element. If in case we consider group, in that case, group valence or valency, group valence is equals to the number of equal to the number of dots in a Lewis symbol. Dots in a Lewis symbol, or 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 I'll write here, or 8 minus the number of dots. The number of dots. I'll explain this. If in case I'll consider N2, nitrogen, N2. How will write, student? N2. If in case I'll consider N2. What will be the number of valence electron for N2? Student, just listen. The question is the number of valence electron in case of N2, student. The question is for N2. For N, for nitrogen, it is how much? 2. How, Rakshit? What about nitrogen? Tell me, what is the atomic number of nitrogen? 7. 1s2, 2s2, 2p. 3. Total number of electrons, 5. Yeah, total number of valence electrons, students. Total number of valence electrons. Yes, I'll write it as N 1 2 or 1 2 3. Total number of valence electron is 10. Total number of valence electron is 10. About this again we will learn after this topic. Okay, this is a little bit complicated. Just try to imagine. I'll write it like 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5. Yeah, there is a triple bond, isn't it? So that's why I mentioned like this. So now, if in case I'll consider this thing, 3 plus 3, 6, 7, 8. If in case I'll consider this, 3 plus 3, 8. So that means both have 8 electrons by sharing electron, isn't it? So this is by sharing. So student, you have to log in once again, okay? Huh? You have to join once again. Okay. So now, if in case you are considering this one, if in case you are considering nitrogen, total number of valence electrons is 10. In that case, this is a group, isn't it? Group valence. Group valence is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Group valence is 6, isn't it? So here the thing is, if it is more than 4, in that case we do this. 8 minus the number of dots. How many dots were there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 minus 8. So valence electron will be 2. Like that we use. Okay. Just remember this. Further, in the next section, I'll explain this clearly. Okay. Because we don't know about covalent bond and all things, isn't it? Suddenly I have to start. About this, I will explain in a covalent bond session, okay? Covalent bond session. So just remember, significance of Lewis symbol is in group valence, when we consider group valence, it is equals to the number of dots in a Lewis symbol, or else 8 minus the number of dots. 8 minus the number of dots. About this, just remind me, okay? The next one, I'll take one example. Again, same NaCl formation. Na loses 1 electron, isn't it? Why it loses 1 electron? To attain a stable electronic configuration, isn't it? So if in case I'll consider sodium, its atomic number is 11, isn't it? Its atomic number is 11. I'll write the electronic configuration 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s1, or simply we can write it as neon electronic configuration with 3s1. Clear? To save the time, you have to, we can consider like this. Okay, now try to write in this way itself. Okay, so then in this case 1 electron was lost. Remember student, whenever there is a loss of electron, you have to consider valence electron itself. So now you can tell, no madam, I want to remove second shell or second electron which is in a second shell. So this is not possible. Again, some students will be there. So I'll write like this: 1s1, 2s2, 2p6, 3s1. I want to remove electron which is in a first shell. So these all things are incorrect, because we can lose, that means electron can lose its electron if it is in a outermost shell. And for this we give one reason, isn't it? Shielding effect or screening effect. That means as the distance between the nucleus and electron increases, if the distance between the nucleus and electron increases, what will happen? The effective nuclear charge which experienced by the electron from the nucleus decreases. That means the force of attraction decreases, isn't it? In that case, we can easily remove that electron. If in case you are considering ground state element or first shell electron, what will happen in that case? It is strongly held by nucleus. It can removed by the electron when it is possible if you are removed all the electron, but it is impossible. Remember student, we can remove almost 3 electron, 4 electron, whatever it is, but you have to give a more energy to that. Clear? You have to give more energy to remove that electron from its stable state. So that's why we can remove the electron only from outer shell. That is nothing but valence shell. That is also known as valence shell, students. This is also known as valence shell. Clear? So now one electron was lost by sodium. So that's why it attained, that is noble gas configuration. It attains noble gas configuration and it is highly stable. So now again I'll consider Cl minus or Cl. Cl will gain one electron and it forms Cl minus. Isn't it? Isn't it, student? Isn't it? So what is the atomic number of Cl? Yeah, we can directly write. Yeah, tell me, student. Yeah, neon, 3s2, 3p, neon, 3s2, 3p, 5. Just see here, for octet, so total number of valence electron is 7. 7, isn't it? To attain an octet electronic configuration, it needs only one electron. Either you have to remove all those 7 electrons, or else you have to add 1 electron to form a stable electronic configuration. So there may be 2 chances or 2 ways, isn't it? If in case I remove all the 7 electron, it will be neon. That is again stable electronic configuration. If I used to add 1 electron, in that case it gains argon electronic configuration. But the possibility, which one is very easy to form? Tell me. To remove 7 electron is more easy, or addition of 1 electron, student? Which one? Which one is more easier? Yes, gain 1 electron, isn't it? So that's why here 1 electron, addition of 1 electron will give argon electronic configuration, which is again highly stable. Is this clear? So this is very interesting, isn't it? Huh? In this case also, if you want to attain this sodium in a stable electronic configuration, you have to add almost 7 electron, or else you can remove only 1 electron. Addition of 7 electron is again more complicated. Addition of 7 electron, if you have to add 7 electron, there must be that amount of effective nuclear charge in nucleus. Clear? So that's why you have to think over it. So addition of 7 electron is more difficult in case of sodium, but removal or removing 1 electron is more easier. Now just check out, student, here is a positive and here is a negative ion. Na plus plus Cl minus, it gives NaCl, isn't it? Isn't it? The bond formed as a result of electrostatic force of attraction between positive and negative ions which were formed is known as electrovalence bond. Very important. electrovalent bond, or it is simply known as, yeah, tell me student, which is also known as ionic bond. Yes, right answer. That is ionic bond. Is this clear, student? So just see, to attain octet, sodium transformed into sodium ion. And to attain stability, Cl transformed into Cl minus. So now if it is in a crystal form or if it is in one shell, then positive and negative has a attraction force. The bond formed as a result, we show in this manner Na bond Cl, isn't it? So the bond formed as a result of electrostatic force of attraction between positive ion and negative ion is known as electrovalent bond, or simply it is known as ionic bond. Isn't it, student? So now take example of calcium fluoride. Take example of calcium fluoride, CaF2. Calcium fluoride, CaF2. I took a little bit complicated, okay? Ca, first one Ca. I'll consider Ca, which has Ca, calcium atomic number, student. Calcium atomic number 20, isn't it? Argon is 18. Argon is 18. And next one, 4s2, 3s2, 2s2, what it is? 4, yeah, 4s2, 4s2. Now think, student, to attain a stability, it needs how many electron? 6 electron. It is again impossible. So if we remove these 2 electrons, it attains a stable electronic configuration of argon. So that's why it loses 2 electrons to attain a stable electronic configuration of argon. Isn't it? Isn't it? So now I'll move for fluorine. Fluorine it is. I'll explain about this. Fluorine. Student, fluorine, atomic number 9. Yes. So I'll write helium. Helium is 1s2. Then I'll write 2s2, 2p5, isn't it? 2p5. So now again think over this. It needs only 1 electron to attain a stable electronic configuration, isn't it? So that's why it consider 1 electron to form F minus. And it will be of neon electronic configuration. Isn't it, student? Isn't it? Is it clear? So now question arises, madam, 2 electrons were lost by calcium, but only 1 electron was gained by fluorine. How it can be balanced? How it can balance? Just tell me, student. Yeah, there will be 2 fluorine. Yes, 2 fluorine loses 2 electron. It forms 2 molecules of F minus. In that case, calcium 2 plus and 2 molecules of F minus have an electrostatic force of attraction between 2. And that is nothing but which yields calcium fluoride. Clear? So there is another example, KCl, MgCl2. So these were again formed by this method itself. That is by electrovalence bond, or else with the help of ionic bond. Student, is it interesting? Students, next one. Yes, next one. So now the question is, what is electrovalency? What is electrovalency? I told it as electrovalence bond it is, okay? Ionic bond is also known as electrovalent bond or electrovalence bond. Now the question is, what is electrovalency? What is electrovalency? If in case I'll consider sodium ion, so it is not a sodium atom, it is a sodium ion. It is a sodium ion. It is not a chlorine, student, it is chloride. Clear? It is chloride. Cl minus is a chloride. It is calcium ion. It is calcium ion. F minus is fluoride. F minus is fluoride. Clear? So now electrovalency is nothing but it is the number of charge unit on ion. It is number of charge unit on ion. So now question, what is the electrovalency of sodium plus ion? What is the electrovalency of Na plus ion? Student, it is nothing but charge unit on ion. That means it is nothing but charge over the ion. Number of charge unit, yes, one, simply one it is, not plus or minus. We consider it as one. For chlorine, it is again one. For calcium 2 plus, it is 2. For F minus, it is 1. If in case I'll consider ferrous or ferric, Fe 2 plus, it is ferric and this one is ferrous. If in case we consider it, then it is 3 and 2. What is electrovalency? It is number of charge unit. We consider charge unit. Okay, it is not a charge. It is not only charge. It is charge unit over the ion. Over the ion. Is this clear, student? Electrovalency is different from electrovalent bond. Electrovalent bond is nothing but it is a force of attraction between positive and negative ion which holds those constituent ion together is known as electrovalence bond or ionic bond. What do you mean by electrovalency? Electrovalency is nothing but number of charge unit on that ion. Clear, student? Clear? Is this clear? Okay. Then we will move for octet rule. Tell me, anyone, what is octet rule here? What is octet rule? Again, what is octet rule, student? Octet rule, or it is a tendency. We use tendency. It is tendency of an atom. Tendency of an atom. Yes, atom to attain dash. Yeah, to attain 8 electron in its, it is very important, in its outermost shell. Outermost shell. Why we have to use outermost shell? Why we have to use outermost shell? If in case I'll consider chlorine, if in case I consider chlorine, there is 2s2 2p6 arrangement, isn't it? There is a 2s2 2p6 arrangement. But it is not about octet, but it needs to attain the octet or 8 electron in a final shell, that is last shell. Clear? So that is the difference. Yeah, to achieve 8 electrons in the last shell. To achieve, so this is nothing but octet rule, very important. Tendency of atom to attain 8 electron in the outermost shell is known as octet rule. And each and every element or atom tries to attain this by the chemical combination. That may be by transfer of electron, that may be by sharing of electron, whatever the method, but it wants to attain a stable electronic configuration with 8 electron in outermost shell. So this is nothing but your octet rule. Is this clear, student? Is this clear? So next one is classification of bonds. Classification of, what do you mean by bond here? This is nothing but attraction force, okay? It is nothing but attraction force. Bond is nothing but attraction force. So now, classification of bond, again by using attraction force itself. Attraction force itself. Clear? So there are two types. First one, strong or attraction force, strong attraction force, or next one is weak attraction or weak interaction. Weak interaction. First one is strong attractive force. Second one is weak interaction. So in strong bond or else strong attraction force, there are mainly four types. First one is, yes, first one is ionic bond. Second one is covalent. Yes, very good. Covalent bond. Next one. Next two. Next two is new for you. So that is nothing but coordination bond. Coordinate bond. And last one is metallic bond. Metallic bond. So about this, you study in a next year. Okay. About these two, we'll study here. Yeah, metallic bond, coordination or coordinate bond. And in case of weak interaction, there will be two. First one is hydrogen bond. Hydrogen bond. Again, about this, we'll study in the next chapter, that is states of matter. Okay. And the second one is van der Waals force of attraction. You heard about this, isn't it? Van der Waals force of attraction. Again, weak force of attraction is known as van der Waals force of attraction. Is this clear? Depending on the attraction force or the tendency of attraction force, bonds are classified into this type, that is strong attraction force and weak attraction force. First one is ionic bond, covalent bond, coordination bond, metallic bond, and here in case of weak interaction, hydrogen bond and valence bond. Is it clear, student? So one by one we'll study about this two. Okay. First one is ionic bond. First one is ionic bond. What do you mean by ionic bond, students? What is ionic bond? We already discussed, isn't it? What is ionic bond? It is a force of attraction between two or more atoms formed due to complete transfer of electron. Isn't it? I have to write, or you understood? I have to write the statement. It is a force of attraction between, understood? Okay. It is a force of attraction between two or more atoms formed due to complete transfer of one or more electron. One or more electron. Don't write single electron, okay? In case of calcium, there is a two transfer, electron of two electrons were transferred, isn't it? So that's why it is the force of attraction between two or more atoms formed due to complete transfer of one or more electron from one atom to another atom. From one atom to another atom is called as ionic bond or electrovalent bond. Is it clear, student? If in case I'll consider Na plus and Cl minus, in this case only one electron is. In case of MgCl2, in case of MgCl2, Mg, just check, okay? Mg is in the form of +2 and Cl is in the form of minus. But there will be two molecules of Cl minus, so that's why transition of two electron will take place. In this case, transition of only one electron will take. FeCl3, if in case I'll consider FeCl3, if in case I consider FeCl3, Fe is in the form of +3 and Cl is in the form of -1 and Cl. So total transfer of electron is 3 electron. Clear? Is this clear? So that means here atom combines together when one or more electrons were transferred from one atom to another atom. In that case only the attraction force is built, that is known as ionic bond. What do you mean by ionic bond? Don't write it as it is a bond between positive and negative ion. Don't write in this manner. What is bond, student? What do you mean by bond? It is an attraction force. You have to mention this. It is an attraction force between two or more atoms, which were formed by the transfer of electron from one atom to another atom, is known as ionic bond or electrovalent bond. Clear? Is it clear? So we almost in all case we consider only one example, that is nothing but rock salt, NaCl. We consider NaCl. Again, I have to write same thing. Na convert into Na plus, Cl into Cl minus. Then there is a force of attraction between positive Na and negative Cl. And that is nothing but ionic bond. But here, one thing, remember student. So, Na convert into Na plus by losing one electron. Do you know about this phenomena? Loss of electron. Do you know about this? So this is known as ionization. This is known as ionization. No, it is about ionization, okay? Removing one electron. That means the process where the electron is removed from the outermost shell. Removal of electron from the outermost shell is known as ionization. Ionization. And student, just remember, the removing one electron is not possible in a normal condition. I'll take sodium and I'll just order it. You have to lose one electron. It is not possible. You have to give something. You have to give something. Student, to convert sodium into Na plus ion, you have to give something. What it is? Yes, it is energy. Clear? You have to consider energy here. When energy falls over sodium, it ejects electron. Clear? And that energy is known as, and that energy which is given to sodium to convert into Na plus or any ion is known as ionization. Ionization energy. It is known as ionization energy. Yes, very good. What is ionization energy? Energy required to remove outermost electron is known as ionization energy. Clear, student? It is ionization energy. What do you mean by ionization energy? Energy required to remove electron from outermost shell is known as ionization energy. Regarding this, you'll study in a third chapter, that is classification of element. Okay, I don't know sir covered or not, but you'll come to know about this in a detail. Okay, next one is about Cl, isn't it? So I'll write here, Cl gain one electron to form Cl minus, isn't it, student? So now this is electron gained, isn't it? So electron was gained by Cl to form Cl minus. So whenever for a neutral atom, electrons will enter. When electrons will enter, energy loses or energy gain? Student, just reply. You know about endothermic reaction and exothermic reaction, student? Do you know about exothermic and endothermic? Do you know about these two things? Exothermic and endothermic. Yes, you know. What is exothermic, student? What is exothermic? Endothermic is nothing but energy supplied. Exothermic is energy released. Isn't it? Endo means electron is absorbed and exothermic is energy. I'll write energy, okay? If energy is gained by any system, that is known as endothermic. If energy is lost by the system, it is exothermic. Isn't it? Yeah, liberation. You can use liberation. Huh? So now this was, I told you, this phenomena where you have to give energy to convert it into sodium ion. Isn't it? So you have to give energy. In that case, it is which type of system? Exothermic system or endothermic system, student? Reply. Exo or endo? Yeah, this is endothermic system. It is endothermic system. But gain of electron may be endothermic or exothermic. It may be exothermic, it may be endothermic, or almost it is exo. Okay, almost it is exo. Huh? And the energy, change in energy is known as electron. This is known as electron gain enthalpy. You know about enthalpy, student? So enthalpy is nothing but measure of heat. Measure of heat or change in heat. Okay, change in energy. Electron gain enthalpy. Enthalpy is nothing but measure of heat or it is energy. It is about energy, change in energy. If in case I'll consider two state, initial E1, then E2, delta E is nothing but enthalpy. That is nothing but E2 minus E1, like that. Clear? So electron gain enthalpy may be exo or endo. Clear? It may be exo or endo. Student, I'll end this session here. Okay, about this, I'll explain in our next class. Okay, I'll explain same thing again. Okay, but we have to end the session here. Huh? If you have any doubt, just text me. Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you.